I have found a whole other way that I think that the governing body was controlling me when I was one of Jehovah's Witnesses that I've never thought of before. I don't really know how to say this, but mispronunciation. Okay, now back when I was one of Jehovah's Witnesses and I was in good standing, I would have to read the Watchtower at the Kingdom Hall. And so what that involved is you went up in front of the audience and you read a paragraph from the Watchtower, maybe two were together, and then you sat back down on stage. You're sitting there next to the guy who's given the you probably know this, so but well, we used to have a publication called Kingdom Ministry. It was kind of our direction publication before we got so many letters. And what this basically said was that if you're going to read the Watchtower in front of the congregation, you need to first, as part of your preparation, listen to the pronunciation of all the words from the cassette way back when, or the digital download now, the CDs sometimes it was, and you need to listen to the governing body at the headquarters wanted you to pronounce the biblical names in the Watchtower. This was kind of a way for them to really control the way the meeting flowed. And it was kind of at the core of one of their biggest indoctrination points each week. And I came to realize that this actually was a bit more sinister than I thought, because the organization, I think, this is my opinion, and I think you might agree that the organization was intentionally mispronouncing words as a power move.
Now, say my name.
Hasenboig?
You're goddamn right.
It was aggressive. Like, you have to say it like this. And you can tell because if you read the Watchtower and you did not pronounce words the way the organization said, I'm not talking about regular words, I'm talking about proper nouns from the Bible, then you were no longer a Watchtower reader. That was it for you. I think it also is number two. I think it invited this us versus them attitude. Like, we are special, we are different. We have a kingdom hall, not a church. Things are different here. We don't do crosses, we have a stake. Everything's different here. It's better. It's a completely different thing. That's how you can tell it's the truthiest truth. And that's why we often say these proper nouns in the Bible a bit differently. And it also did something else that when I was deeply indoctrinated, I remember hearing actual Bible scholars say names from the Bible, and they would say it differently than I heard in the Watchtower publications. And I thought, wow, these guys don't know anything. These guys have spent their lives studying these ancient languages and learning the translations to English, and somehow they still can't get it right. Well, that really proves that we're with the one truthiest truth, doesn't it? We've got the best scholars, the biggest of brains. Now, I'm not also, I just want to be clear here. I'm not saying that we should in English pronounce ancient names as they were pronounced by ancient peoples. That isn't how it works. The translation changes it. It goes from, for example, from Hebrew to English, it goes from Moshe to Moses. So I'm talking from an American market here and from an English point of view. So sorry, this is very English here. I speak American English. As you can tell, I say lots of things really screwy, but so do you guys, so it's okay. But what I am talking about is that scholarly people who do study ancient languages have found the correct and agreed upon pronunciation of ancient proper nouns. And I'm going to give you some examples here. I hope this becomes clear that I'm not a complete crackpot. So here goes. Here are my top picks. Let me tell you, I could have found 24, but here's my top 4. Now, the first one is this ancient God. And this is how the organization of Jehovah's Witnesses, in their recording of their Bible, New World Translation in Kings, I think it is. I'll pull it up on the screen. This is how they say the name of this God.
To Chemosh, the god of Moab.
And this is how Bible scholars have a consensus that this is pronounced in English.
Of the Moabite patron deity Chemosh.
Maybe that's an isolated thing. Maybe that's an isolated scholar.
So let's look at the main contention in this verse. Whose wrath is the great wrath? Right? That great wrath, is it Chemosh's wrath? Is it Yahweh's wrath? What's going on? So that's kind of a big crux here, because if it's the great wrath of Chemosh coming upon them, then it is what it is. There you go.
The 9th century BCE Mesha Stele, Victory Stele, brags of dragging vessels of Yahweh before Chemosh.
But let's try this other one. This is an ancient people that Samson beat up real bad. In fact, the My Book of Bible Stories teaches children that Samson of the Bible killed hundreds of these people because they were so bad. They're just bad people through and through. Us and them through and through. These are bad people. This is how the My Book of Bible Stories pronounces it. There we go.
Let me die with the Philistines.
And then here we have how modern scholars pronounce it.
In British English, this is normally said as Philistines, Philistines. In American English, however, this is usually said as Philistines.
It's completely different. Now, arguably, the Jehovah's Witnesses say Philistine, and typically people today in modern English, when they are using the insult that you're uncultured and uncouth, they say you Philistine. But even then, Philistine versus Philistine, the Jehovah's Witnesses put the emphasis on the wrong syllable. What are you doing? And there's so many more examples. Elkanah versus Elkanah. But this one is a big one. This is a word we used a lot. It was Jezebel's god. And this god's name, according to Jehovah's Witnesses, is...
Oh, Baal, answer us.
And according to Bible scholars is...
With the Canaanite warrior and storm god Baal, literally the Lord, the scribes of the Hebrew Bible so hated Baal that theonymics employing his name underwent taboo replacement with the Hebrew word for shame, boshet. Thus names like Esh-Baal become Esh-Boshet, Meri-Baal become Meri-Boshet. Further, the phrase Prince Baal or Baal-Zebul famously becomes Baal-Zebub.
All of these examples are agreed upon as how you should properly read it if you're reading the Bible. And this is not what is agreed upon by religions, because religions can't agree upon anything, but by Bible scholars who have dedicated their lives to understanding ancient language and its translation to modern English. Okay, here's our last example. This is the land that the Israelites came in and conquered and that God commanded them to commit genocide in. And how does the organization say it? Canaan. We know, Canaan. How do Bible scholars say it?
The Canaan has been plundered.
Now, do you think the organization, the governing body, would ever approve going back and changing all this? I think there's absolutely no way they would do that, because changing all this would not only cost them a decent amount of money because they have to bring people back in to re-record things and the continuity, and they have to record whole new books and everything else, but it also has to have some humility. And I think they are so unhinged with their bizarre pronunciations that they can never go back.
Let's take a roll here. D-Nice.
Do you mean Denise?
Son of a bitch! You say your name right now.
Denise?
Say it right.
Denise.
Correctly.
Denise.
Right.
Denise.
Right.
D-Nice.
That's better. Thank you. Now, Ron, where are you?
So once again, I think this is a genuine effort on the part of JW leadership, the governing body, to control members. They want to seem a little bit smarter than worldly scholars. And we've all seen examples in the publications where they say, one scholar said, and they don't cite who the scholar was. Well, that's just their dude. That was just Terry from down the hall, at Bethel, who said, I am a scholar. I learned it. Also, they want Jehovah's Witnesses to hear actual Bible scholars pronounce things differently from them, so that then they can go, oh, well, they must be wrong because we have God's Spirit. We are the chosenest people. And that's a great way to control those people. And that it worked on me. I remember hearing I don't remember what it was, like a TED Talk or something about 10 years ago. And I went, I think I said that word weird from the Bible. Yeah, gosh, he can't even get that. I shouldn't listen to him if he can't even get such a basic thing right. But Jehovah's Witnesses were wrong. If you think I'm wrong, next time you're reading a scripture that includes one of these words, try the accepted worldly version, the scholarly version. Try saying Baal instead of Baal. See what happens. See if you get pulled aside and counseled to work on your pronunciation. I think that's the level of the organization's control. I think they will 100% do that. So, what pronunciations did you get wrong or get corrected for at the meeting? And also, what pronunciations did you hear at the meetings that turned out to be completely crazy and completely wrong? Let us know in the comments. Thanks so much for watching. Please do like and subscribe. We have a brand new episode coming up with a special guest next week.
Ah, damn. Evie? Satan the DeVille. Are you guys pranking me? This is not nice. This is my first time in the office. That's rude. Jesus. Yay, I got one. Haha, that's nice.